Oh, sweet. That's pretty sweet. Nice. Sweet. All right, let's get started. So I'm super interactive. I will call you out if you're not participating. I will call you out if you're wandering. I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm going to use swear words. I'm going to rattle your paradigms a little. And I'm going to put the pressure on you right now. So I'm going to call on each one of you. What's your name? Why are you here? What do you want to achieve in this? All right, go for it.
My name's Alina Marshall. I'm here because this is a required class.
Okay.
What I want to get out of this is I'm planning on doing personal training.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Why?
Just the in-between from undergrad to grad school.
Okay.
And since it lines up with what I'm studying, I think it'd be an easy transition from that to physical therapy.
Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So I'm Ben Simpson. I am here because this is also a required class for our major. And what I hope to get out of this is I hope to be a physical therapist one day.
Okay.
But I don't know a whole lot about personal training, so I'm kind of just interested to hear your perspective on this.
Okay, so I've actually been mentored by some of the best physical therapists in the world, so like I have that perspective too as well. Sweet, I'm gonna go all the way around the room over there. Make sure you guys are paying attention. It's a rando, right? Go for it.
My name is Christian. I'm here because this is a required class, and what I want to get out of this is I want to do personal training after I graduate. So
Why?
love working out and love helping people.
Okay, sweet. All right, right there.
My name's Marissa, and it's also required to be here.
Okay.
I want to be an OT after this, and I kind of don't really know anything about personal trainers, so
Okay.
this will be interesting to see what you have to say.
Okay. Damn right it would be. Yeah, there we go, right there.
I'm Chris. I'm here because I kind of have to be.
Okay.
And what I want to get out of this is I just kind of want to learn like what
Okay.
personal trainers do.
Okay. Oh, by the way, it's cool to say I'm required to be here, but like social awareness, make your teacher feel good. Like, you know what I mean? Social awareness. Like, I know, just check that out. So even if it's required, make sure you know how you're making people feel, you know? So I know you guys mean well, just like a tip for 12 years in the game, okay? So right there.
My name's Adam. This is also a required class, but...
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, fuck what he says, so I'm gonna keep going. All right, yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. We get it.
I have to hear that like one more time.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to expect from personal training, so I'm just here to learn more about that.
Okay. Right there, Mara. Yeah.
I'm Marinol. Even though I've already met you, I'm interested in seeing what more you have to say. And
Yeah.
if you're going to catch me off my feet in your presentation.
Nice. I like it.
Learn something new.
Nice. Right there.
My name is Ariana, and I'm here because I'm interested in what you have to say.
Sweet. Awesome. Right there. Yep. Yes, sir.
My name is David, and yeah, I'm just pretty much here just to see what you guys say. Maybe it could be a possible career change.
Okay. All right. Hat.
My name is Jamie. I'm interested in learning more about fitness training in case I want to change my course of my career and stuff.
Okay. Sweet. There.
My name is Maria. I guess I'm interested in what you have to say too.
Okay. Sweet. Awesome smile, by the way. There they go, right there.
I'm Karen, and I don't know, I guess I'm interested in what you have to say.
Yeah, I know. It's rough, being put on the spot, right? This is what this business is about. It's on the spot leadership. Go before you're ready, right? So we got right over there. Yeah.
My name is Jordan. I know this is the area I want to be in, meets and all that, but I just don't know exactly where I want to go. So just.
Why do you know that?
Huh?
Why do you know that?
Because I've played sports my whole life. Everything's around. I also know that
Okay, sweet.
Like to bounce back in.
All right, sweet. Hat right over there.
My name's Kaylin. So I'm after school, I'm going to chiropractor schools, but I want to see what it's like to know what it is to be a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So I want to hear what you have to say about that.
Sweet.
Change my mind.
Okay. All right. Right there, sir.
My name is Nate. I want to be a PT, and I'm also interested in what you have to say. And the reason I want to be a PT is because when my dad had sciatica, and then when my grandma had a stroke, I saw what they were doing. I just want to be a part of something like that.
Sweet. Awesome. Thanks. Right there, sir.
My name's Matt. I want to do PTOT. Haven't decided yet. But I also coach full-time college softball, so I'm interested to hear what you have to say to add that to maybe applying some of the stuff you have to say to our program there.
Sweet.
And then, just like helping people.
All right. Right there.
My name's Ramona. I want to go into like PT.
Yeah.
Like Mariano said, I saw you last time I was at strength and conditioning, so I'm just kind of interested to see if you're going to do the same thing or if you're going to bring a different like.
Yeah, it's going to be a version of that. It'll be a little bit different too as well. It's going to be a shortened version because I really want Q&A, right? Take advantage of this. So we'll start. It's going to be roughly 10 to 12 minutes. It's interactive, all right? So you guys ever felt like you were drowning, right? Professionally, emotionally, whatever. Look, a coach can purchase speed. You can get there quicker, okay? So it's not just learning from your own mistakes. Learn from my mistakes. You get there much quicker, okay? So I'm going to share about 12 years coaching experience. Here's my journey. This is actually me and my buddy. Let me see if this plays. I go back. This is me walking. Well, to pretend we're walking. This is somewhere in Iceland. So how I started off years ago is I basically crisscrossed the country learning from some of the best coaches in the world. I'd spend days, hours, weeks with them. And I basically fast-tracked it all. I purchased speed. I learned so quick because I learned through their mistakes. So I hope you learn through my mistakes too, okay? And I've been coaching 12 years. Again, I'm the founder of Terranova Fitness. I founded it 9 years ago. Do you know like 90% of gyms fail within the first 5 years? 90%. I think it's even higher now. I'm also the author, this is Siobhan, of My Fit Life Planner. It took me about 15 months, 500 hours to create. It's basically every single frequently asked question you're gonna get from clients is answered in this book. Okay, so if you wanna know about that, you can ask about that. So I'm gonna go over 5 mistakes to avoid. 5 mistakes to avoid, right? It's cheaper to learn from my mistakes. So learn from them. Most people are out of this industry within 1 to 3 years. It's a high turnover rate, but you can make a lot of money if you're awesome. Okay, so 5 mistakes to avoid. This is actually, a lot of this is real world. This is me. I broke this when I was running with the Bulls in Spain. Okay, so if you ever want to do that, don't take your phone with you. That was a mistake. Okay, so 5 mistakes to avoid. Mistake number 1. You guys seen this meme yet with this little kid? Yeah? I think this is the biggest mistake young guns make, is being a true believer. Like some of the symptoms of being a true believer is you get offended when somebody asks you to justify your program. Or you get offended when somebody says there's a better way to do something. Okay? And not everyone is meant to listen to country music. Not everyone's meant to listen to rap music. Same thing with your programs. Not everyone's meant to do HIIT or all these other stuff, okay? So if you're a true believer, you're gonna run into trouble, you're gonna injure people, okay? So always be aware. My mentor taught me there's a difference between disagree and dislike. Like I've been around the best coaches in the world. We love justifying our programs. The moment somebody gets offended, we're like, probably his first year, first, second, third year. So that's mistake number 1. Don't be a true believer. There's another one. See this guy? You guys seen this movie Friday? Am I dating myself? Shit. Mistake number 2, speaking coach. Nobody cares what like your psoas is or alactic or nonlinear periodization. No one cares, all right? And you're gonna make people feel dumb. If you're speaking to other coaches, speak coach. But if you're talking to somebody, speak plain language, right? It's really important. People come to us to feel awesome and be built up. So if you're using all this language that they don't understand, they're just gonna feel stupid, okay? So don't speak coach. I made this mistake. I remember reading like my first like Russian periodization, and I was like sharing it with somebody, and I was so excited about it, and I see the eyes going back in this woman's head. I'm like, oh shit, I'm boring her. Don't make that mistake. Don't speak coach to non-coach people. Use plain language, use analogies, okay? Mistake number 3 is square pegs into round holes. Outrageous. All right, so I love doing bench press, but not everyone's meant to do a bench press, okay? I love squatting. Not everyone's meant to do a squat. So if you fall in love with an exercise and you think everyone should do it, you're putting square pegs in the round hole, okay? It's kind of like being a true believer. Does that make sense, right? And again, I can spot a young gun a mile away because they have this. They keep trying to push it in. Mistake number 4. This is actually this is me riding an ostrich in South Africa. It was pretty damn chaotic. And I jumped off and held on to that bar afterwards, okay? I had to call an audible. So mistake number 4, not calling audibles. Does anyone know what an audible is in football analogy? An audible is when you come up to the line, you have a set play, you see the defense move, and a rookie quarterback stays with the play, gets sacked. A great coach sees it and calls an audible. So every coach I know never follows every program, because there's so many variables at play. Okay, sleep, something's hurting, they're doing another sport, they're doing other training. You gotta be able to call audibles. Here's mistake number 5, the other 23 hours. Mediocre coaches only focus on the exercise or the hour at a time. They don't know about what happened before, they don't care, they're not aware of it, they're not self-aware. Also, I see this too a lot with trainers that are in or out of the industry within a year. They want to prove how awesome they are and like destroy their clients and athletes. And then that client and athlete can't fucking walk the rest of the day, has no energy, and can't do anything, okay? Here's something you always learn. If you get nothing else, you shouldn't train as hard as you can. You train as hard as you should. Otherwise, you will learn the hard way, I promise you, okay? So again, the other 23 hours, what's the look in their eyes? We've all dated people, right? We know when they're in a good mood or a bad mood. Is everything okay? Yeah, okay, you know there's not something going on, okay? What are the other 23 hours? And then here is setting yourself apart. 5 things to set yourself apart. Again, I've been in here 12 years. Most coaches and trainers are out within 1 to 3. How do you set yourself apart? This is me with my main mentor, Mike Boyle. This is one of my many trips out to Boston. He coached me at HAM, the famed U.S. Olympic team. He's got 2 national titles with BU hockey. He helped Boston Red Sox win the World Series title too. And he helped, the women's Olympic hockey team. They won silver, right? So, and his daughter actually is the youngest national hockey champion in the country. So, these are how to set yourself apart, right? Number 1, again, I love to put pictures of my travels. This is me in South Africa, about 15 feet from real lions. I was paranoid, okay? It was fun. But great coaches have productive paranoia. I'm 12 years in the game, I am paranoid every day, right? So when I was with Mike learning, there was literally $1 million athletes all around. And he told me, Chris, if I injure this athlete, that's millions of dollars. I'm on the sports page. I get a call from the owner, the agent, everybody, I'm blamed for it, right? When there's something left on the floor, you'll notice this, I'm paranoid, pick it up. Because it's not a question of when, it's a question of somebody's gonna actually fall, okay? If the moment you lose productive paranoia, you're in trouble, okay? 12 years in the game, the number 1 thing is do not injure people, okay? People stop exercising because they get injured typically. So you better develop productive paranoia of injuries. Number 2, invest in people. I love this lovely lady, Jill, she's amazing. Have you met her yet? No?
Jill,
Yeah, okay.
She's awesome.
Yeah, maze balls, right? I'm trying to get her to smile more often, but you know, it is what it is. So investing in people, super, super important. I've met some great coaches that are technically good, but they're dicks. They're dicks. And nobody wants to be around them. They just have that dark energy. You ever like date somebody and you're like, oh, you look cute, but like, damn, you got some dark energy. I'm out of here, you know? So you must invest in people. This is her holding up my book I spent so hard working on. And so I asked Mike, what's one of the things, your secrets to success? He's like, I can get people to do what's in their best interest. My first few years coaching, this is what happens. You fall in love with yourself. You fall in love with your workout programs. You fall in love with your business. That's the mediocre way to do things. Great coaches fall in love with the people they're honored to coach. It sounds corny as hell, but it's true. I've been in the game 12 years. I'm being attacked by more competition than I ever have. And it's because I actually give a shit about people. And you can't fake it. You hear it in my voice now. So you better invest in people. Be careful, fall in love with your own program. Fall in love with the people you're serving, athletes, coaches, whoever it is. You know what? There's an old saying, you ever see that meme about like what my friends think I'm doing, what my parents think I'm doing, all that shit? Like at the end, it's like, I'm a freaking therapist. It is. You're gonna turn into a therapist when you're throwing shit around. So invest in people, it's huge. You might be the only person who makes them feel special. So Mary Kate, she actually says everyone's walking around with a sign that says, make me feel special. You might actually be the only one person that makes them feel special, and they'll come back, okay? This is a little more geeky stuff. We got a few more minutes. So systems first, methods second. This is how you stand out. I'll say it again. Systems first, methods second. Great coaches kind of can see the matrix and forecast stuff, like the ones and zeros. Mediocre coaches tend to look just at workouts and programs, and they can't predict what's going on, okay? So I'm gonna go over each one, and then I'll unpack each one, and I'll give like one or two real world examples, okay? So I want you to think systems first. Energy systems. This is like cardio, right? That's hilarious. It literally says scam likely. Do you guys get that? No? I'm the only one? All right, sweet. So let's pretend that didn't happen. Energy systems, that's like cardio, all that good stuff, right? Muscular systems, neuromuscular system, psychological system, and then your endocrine system. Why is this important? Why should you care? Because you can see the forecast. These are like weather patterns. You can predict moves. So energy systems, aerobic, lactic, all the good stuff. I won't go through all of them. Why is this important? Why should you care? If you got somebody who's deconditioned, you can't put them on an aerobic program right away. Their stroke volume's not good enough. It'll destroy them. Same thing with athletes. If somebody's endocrine system is torn down, they got a lot of cortisol and stuff, you can actually do some aerobic tempo methods to bring that system back up. So I'm looking at the weather forecast. Muscular system, I'm not gonna go too deep into it. I wanna touch these other ones. Neuromuscular system, that's anything like sprints, medicine balls, any max effort stuff, balance stuff too as well. Here's a real world example. Say somebody has back pain and you only look at the lens through like an exercise and you give them some medicine ball throws. You're not looking at the neuromuscular system. We know that if you have a back that's compromised, doing high velocity stuff will shred the back. Even if you ask them, they're doing some medicine ball stuff and you say, is your back good? They're like, yeah. It's kind of like taking a shot. It's fun then, you're gonna be hungover the next day. So you gotta look at stuff through the systems. Lower level is exercise, higher level, you can predict the forecast, okay? Also, somebody that first comes in, if they're deconditioned, you can't load them up too much with this speed work. It makes them dizzy and stuff like that, okay? So each one of these systems is like a medicine. You gotta have a correct dose, okay? Psychological system, I think this is probably the most underutilized one, is like, what's the look in their eyes? Like, what's the look in their eyes? Are they going through a breakup, right? Did they sleep well? Is a family member? Like this morning, we had people that like We had one person, their family member died. It's heavy shit. One's in the hospital. There's some heavy shit going on. Even if you have an athlete, it's like, hey man, what's going on in your life? All things all good? And you find out, oh, they only slept 2 hours because their parents were arguing all night. They don't need to be thrown into the dirt. They need some tender love and care, okay? So be aware of that stuff, the psychological system. The endocrine system, I won't go too deep, but like cortisol, dopamine, all that stuff, where are they at in terms of that, okay? Especially with the women, they have a lot of other stuff going on, okay? So look in terms of systems first, methods second. Me in Iceland, I'm assessing whether or not I should go there. I went here and I even thought this was a bad idea, okay? Great coaches are always assessing. Like I'm assessing you guys, like who's into it, who's bored, who's waiting at the time, who asks good questions, you know, who's socially aware, you know, who slept. Great coaches are always assessing. We always do like assessments at the beginning, but everything is an assessment if you know what you're looking for, okay? Everything, always be assessing. I can walk in the room and assess, all right, posture, 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 all that stuff. Always be assessing. Remember, every single exercise is an assessment if you know what you're looking for, okay? And why is this also important? There's some athletes and clients we come in, I'm not gonna do an assessment because I don't wanna put them on blast. I don't wanna put them on the spotlight, right? Because I'm aware of their psychological system. This goes back to being a true believer. Like we have like the functional movement screen. If you're a PT, you might have heard the functional movement screen. And I've met Gray, I've been coached by those founders, and they're hard line. They're like, you always gotta do this assessment, always. But if you're a true believer and you look in their eyes and they're like, I don't like this, I don't like this. I'm gonna throw that damn thing out because the psychological system is more important than being a true believer. So always be assessing, always be assessing. This is the final one. This is how you stand out, your coaching cues. I walk into a room and I see athletes and people and I can judge the coach by how good they look, right? There's several levers. It's like, it looks like shit, it's bad, it's okay, it's good, great, it's excellent, okay? So the ability to give somebody a squat or something and it looks like crap, what do you do with it? Do you like panic? Do you switch it out? Do you keep going? So these are some of the great coaching cues we use that have been so damn successful. Number one is the sandwich method, right? So sandwich method is, I want you to squat like this, right? I want you to squat like this. Show them what you want. What I don't want is this. I exaggerate bad. Then I show them, again, I want you to do this. It's important to exaggerate the bad because they're like, I'm not gonna do that, right? So this is awesome, the sandwich method. The next one is if this, then that. If you feel this in your abs, then you're doing it right. They need contrast because you'll give somebody stuff and they're like confused. A lot of times they're shy, they're stifled, they don't want to ask questions, right? So you got to give them confirmation. If you're shaking, then you're doing it right, okay? And then you'll see the look in their eyes. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. Target-based coaching. Here's my rule of thumb. If I coach something and the eyes roll in their head, I'm like, it's too much. They shouldn't be thinking. It drives me crazy when I see people. It's different in a physical therapy session because it's slower paced, but like in fitness, if they're thinking, too much coaching. Target-based. So it's saying, instead of saying like knees over this, knees over that, just put a box here and say, touch your ass to the box. Target-based coaching. Or up against the wall, squat, knees are not allowed to touch the wall. And then evolution takes over and you can just shut up and walk away, okay? So target-based coaching. Once you give them an intervention, you gotta ask them, hey, is that better, same or worse? If somebody's having pain, hey, is it better, same or worse now? You gotta get confirmation. Don't assume. And then technical failure. This is huge. Don't go to failure, go to technical failure. The analogy I used, especially with guys, because there's an ego at play, I reverse engineer their ego. I'm like, dude, you're throwing wild pitches. Stop throwing wild pitches. Get the damn thing in the strike zone. All right? So guys are funny. They don't want to lower the weight. Like, dude, you're throwing a fucking fast pitch in the stands, right? Get control. Analogies. I was talking with Nick Winkleman. He probably coaches more NFL players than anybody in the world. And he says they increased their 40 time by like 1.2 seconds, which seems like nothing, but that's millions of dollars, millions. And he said, look, I didn't change any X's or O's. I didn't change nothing. I just changed target-based and analogies. So it's like, hey, take off like a rocket. Accelerate like a fighter plane. Analogies. The other thing about analogies, they are generation specific. So what works for a 50-year-old, an 18-year-old is like, what? So generation specific, okay? Coaching cues are huge. You have like 2 minutes left. So see the person on the right? Can see way further. Every wealthy person I know, here's basically my rule, whether or not you're crushing it in life. Do you hate Mondays or do you like Mondays? I fucking love Mondays. Love it. Why? Every person I know that loves Mondays got to stacks of books. My buddy, I go over his house, stack of books. All my other coaching friends, stack of books. You go to my place upstairs, stacks of books, okay? They're treasure maps. Here are some treasure maps you should read. This is The Art of Decision Making. This is from a Harvard Business Review. Look this up. Every one of us in this room, including myself, has cognitive bias, right? If your friend is dating somebody and you're like, you know what? Dude's an asshole. You're going to find ways to confirm your bias. And if somebody says they did something nice, you'd be like, nah, I'm going to block that out. Same thing, if you believe that person is a good person, you know, it's probably a misunderstanding. She means well. She's just trying to be nice, not creepy, right? There's 25 of them. There's 25 of them. Charlie Munger is like one of the richest people in the world. He says, if you know your cognitive bias, you're in the 1%. So check it out. You can Google it, cognitive bias. Every single person I know that likes Mondays has read this book. People who hate Mondays are like, the fuck's he talking about, right? It's your choice. I've loved Mondays every day for 12 years. And this is one of the reasons, this book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's a classic. It's probably one of the most useful things you can read. This business is people. It's not like X's and O's and win friends and influence people. That's how you stay in the game for 12 years. Raving Fans, pretty awesome book. If you want to make money in this industry, that's where it's at. It's a quick read too. These are two classics. This is from my mentor, Michael Boyle. Awesome book. Advances in Functional Training. And it's super user-friendly. It's something you can put to use. This is a great classic, Science and Practice of Strength Training. So it bridges the gap between usable and theory. These are kind of more on the rehab. This is more for your physical therapist type people. I've spent a good deal of time with Dr. Stuart McGill. He's probably the leading expert on back health. So Ultimate Back Fitness and Performance. It's for beginners all the way to athletes. It's a must read, must damn read. This is a little bit more geeky and manual-like, but it changed the game for us too. So Diagnosis and Treatment of Movement Impairment Syndromes. She's like the Yoda of PT. No, seriously, she really is actually. Last two books, I believe. These are some of my favorite coaching books of all time. This is the Charlie Francis training system. It's out of print. You can get the ebook. It's now called Training for Speed. He basically took all the Canadian sprinters and made them all gold medalists. And look, everyone was doing steroids back then. They were just stupid enough to tell the truth, okay? It's one of the best coaching books you'll ever read. It's amazing. The Little Book of Talent, another amazing book. Have you guys heard of the Talent Code? Anybody? The Talent Code is a book, and this is the how-to. Really cool. 52 tips for improving your skills in coaching. It's super amazing. It's It's basically what the best coaches and athletes in the world do. It's super quick, super simple. It'll change the game, and you'll be better than any other coach if you read these. And then this is kind of if you want to email me and say whatever you wish. Yeah, so thank you. I definitely want to take questions. You guys better have some questions. Yeah. Any questions? Don't be the person that says you're in your car and I wish I asked. The only stupid question is the one that stays in your head, right?
So how do you deal with, because I come across this a lot.
Yeah.
Athletes who are like, oh, I'm injured, but they're not. They're just like, they think they're more, because you don't know someone else's pain tolerance.
Right.
So they're not actually as bad as they are. It's more like the psychological part, but they're like, no, I can't do it.
Can you give like, so is it pain or discomfort? Those are two different things that people confuse. So can you give me a specific example?
We did over our fall break.
Yeah.
We decided to do like, we called it like the Bulldog Games, a bunch of like softball Olympics stuff. And one of the ones was running this hill. One of the girls like tapped out. She's like, you can't do it. My legs are. She started crying, but like she's our starting center fielder, and she can sprint and run all over the place on the field. But when it came to this hill, she was like, I can't do it. So it was really interesting to see how quickly she tapped out on something.
Oh, yeah.
On the field, she's like a stud.
Okay, so that sounds like she literally tapped out.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things I would do is I reframed the question. I was like, what would it look like if you could do it? And, we're counting on you as a leader, and kind of put that onus on them, So that's what I would do in that particular situation. Do you have another one too as well? Because I think that's not injury. That's basically up here. You know what I mean? How did you respond to that? I want to know how you responded to that.
Well, I'm just part of the staff. I'm not the main coach.
Oh, yeah.
The two veteran coaches, they kind of just let her do her thing and didn't really address it too much. Probably.
Yeah.
Another instance is we have another girl who has like a tiny bones. I don't know what it exactly is.
Right.
The doctor basically said you can play to pain tolerant. So she's like, well, I don't know if I should play. I don't know if I can play.
Okay.
The doctor cleared her off of tolerance to her pain level.
Right. See, it's a unique situation because in that situation, athletes are just going to be injured. That's part of the game, right? Stephen Curry is going to come back. It's injured. So it really depends on the tolerance and having everyone talk to each other, right? And maybe you adjust the game time too as well. Instead of playing, X amount of quarters or X amount of time, you're only playing this time, and then baby your way back into it. It's different, right? Because athletes, that's part of the game. You're just going to be injured. It's part of the game. That's what you sign up for, Does that kind of answer your question there? Yeah. But I would definitely, here's the thing, I'll get right to you. People confuse pain and discomfort all the time. So you got to be like, hey, is that pain or is it discomfort, right? Is it sharp? Is it dull? When did it start? What aggravates it? Ask more questions. Dig a little bit deeper.
I have a question for Cindy. Can you tell me how you started your own business? Like what I think would be helpful is starting out to then get your own business. What's the transition that you went through? How did you know you want to do it? You're ready to do it. How did you do it?
First of all, I hate working for people. I hate it. I got kicked.
Can you share?
Yeah.
Can you share your background?
Yeah, so I was kicked out of grade school, middle school, high school, trade college, and my house. I had a D and F average, but I outlearned everybody. And if P's like, shit, what, really? But like I learned through like books and treasure maps. And I get this question from people that are like technicians. They're like, I want to start my own business. I'm like, do you really? Do you know how many failed like romantic relationships I have? Because I chose the business over, there's maybe like 2 or 3 times like I've broken up because a girl wanted to get married or have kids, and I was like, I'm gonna grow this business, right? What's more practical? What's easier to replace, your girlfriend or the business? It sounds cruel. There's a different mindset. When you own a business, it's a lifestyle change. And most people don't know. I'm obsessed. You know what it says on this? It says, outsuffer them with merciless obsession. I'm a maniac, right? Like, to own a business, it's a complete lifestyle change. There's a different look in your eyes. It's working 16, 18 hours a day until you build it up to a certain point. So it's cool, like, you're working for somebody else. If you have an awesome boss, that's great. But I trade security for mobility. See all those pictures? Those are all real. I'm willing to trade security for mobility. So you must be super comfortable with uncertainty. Every day is uncertain. So it's a lifestyle change. So the question is, if you want to, I would read something called like the ebook. So basically, here's the big cognitive bias people have. I'm a great coach, I'm gonna start a business. One has nothing to do with the other. They're completely different worlds. When I started my business, I was like, holy shit, what did I get myself into? So to answer your question, I basically was flying blind a little. I found a place, it was a decent price. I negotiated a deal and then signed a lease. And I basically been learning on the fly. Now I have coaches. I spend close to $2,000 a month on coaches. I'll say that again. I spend close to $2,000 a month for paid experts and coaches that tell me what to do to save me time. What do all the great athletes have in common? Does anybody know? Every professional athlete? It's not wrong, but I say it. Just come on, say it.
I just want to see talent. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Whenever people get hurt, or like if like some of my friends lose a basketball game, I'm like, well, they didn't take your talent, so.
Yeah.
You're in there.
They're all right answers. The one I'm looking at, they have an army of coaches and advisors. They have an army of coaches and advisors. I have 12 masterminds. I have 4 coaches. I buy myself speed. At times, I'm the stupidest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room at all times, you're doing something wrong, right? So again, great people have coaches. You should be going to people more advanced than you, right? And then you should be helping people underneath you. And so I survived when I didn't have the business skill because I out-cared and I outworked people. I woke up at 3:15, 3:30, 4 a.m. nonstop for years. So if you were smarter than me, I'll get to the starting line before you. Now I only wake up at like 4:30, but like, yeah. So my question would be like, do you really want to start a business? Because when shit hits the fan, when you work for somebody else, you can look at them and say, what are we gonna do? When shit hits the fan, which it has lately, when we had a certain issues, we're working through it. I gotta look in the mirror, right? And then we got past it. It's all on you. So that, again, the question is, do you really want to start it? Because you know what, if you're in a relationship, right? So again, I'm not sure if you want to start a business. That's not a bad or a good thing, but it is a lifestyle change. I never shut off. My volume turns down a little, but I'm a maniac. Like, some girls love it, some girls hate it, right? So like, some girls are inspired of it. Some girls are like, dude, I need you to pay attention to me. I'm like, sorry, my business is more important. Girls come and go, sorry. Businesses, boom, yeah. Yeah, sorry, went on a little rant there, yeah, thank you, yeah.
I have seen so many speakers through education and speaking, and I go to different conferences and talks. He's an amazing speaker because he's humble, he is true, he is smart, he is successful, and he keeps striving. And I really hope that you can take that, because whatever you decide to do, I don't care if you become a nurse, a doctor, a coach, a business person, you can take something from any talk, and the ideas that come to your mind. I've thought of some random things during some random talk. I'm like, wow, that was enlightening, and just take it from there. So thank you for coming.
Yeah,
and,
awesome work.
Thank you.
Remember, I got D's and F's, and now I do whatever the hell I want. All those guys are, yeah, damn right. Awesome, guys. Thank you. Yeah. If you wanna email me? And then I'll get it to you.